The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast.
Whatever you drive, however you drive. AMSOIL specially engineers lubricants to maximize power, performance, and protection in your vehicles, so you can work hard and play hard with confidence.
When you fancy a spot of tea or maybe a little bit of crumpets or fish and chips, you think about the Pocono Mountains, mate, and maybe a bottle of water. You want to get the checkered flag, then you have a spot of tea at the chippy as you go and take all three corners here around this twisty circuit with three corners and no turn four. It's going to be quite the challenge here, mate, at the tricky triangle. Welcome one, welcome all to Prime Time Racing TV for tonight's coverage of the Nichols Oil Pros Cup Series at the Pocono Raceway, the Great Britain Grand Touring Trophy here at the Pocono Speedway. It's going to be two blokes here in the booth. They're going to be myself, Coy Silver, and I do have Brad Dalton here to give me the call. Don't ask where this accent's from. I'm Scottish, I'm British, I'm Australian, but I'm here for some racing, mate.
Yeah, cheers, mate. This is going to be a fun one. I'm quite chuffed and a little bit knackered, but I do think this is going to be a good one. It's not dodgy racing that we're going to see tonight. I will tell you right now, we're going to have a good chin wag, and I think it's going to be a good night tonight. So my accent definitely isn't there, but we're just going to work with it. And you know what? I'm quite gutted that my accent isn't anywhere near where yours is, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, that... give me a -2 out of 100 and I'll take that here, but was put up to the challenge, so that is what it is, of course, by our UK driver and PTR TV colleague Howie Burrows in the number 98 automobile. Our race sponsor put me up to the challenge, and I failed miserably at it, as one would expect. A couple more important aspects of today's race. This is the last race of the regular season here in Triple Bypass, as the playoffs are amongst us, or soon to be. Playoffs always a fun topic in the NASCAR community these days. Jeremy Brown locked in 3 wins on the season. 3 wins on the season, mate? And Steve McClendon getting that goose egg broken last week with the win, the Rooster, and Dylan Freeman, whose hardware issues have been alleviated, still present here. And then you can see the cut line going down to Daniel Williams there in the 11th spot. Something else that we are going to do today in honor of our British patronage in today's efforts, we're going to go and give honor to the nation that we defeated in the war and have our UK national anthem. All right, and that'll lead us right here on to the grid after our UK national anthem. Let's go down and trackside and give you the PTR TV running order here today from the Poconos. Stephen Gibson, a name that I don't recall, but obviously he's here. On the front row, Keaton Crothers, still probably recovering from that Portland catastrophe a couple weeks ago. In second, Brad Kress in third. Jeremy Brown, our wins leader, in the fourth spot. Fifth is Ward Fisher. What's he doing up that high on the grid? Then you got Alan Cudman in sixth. Michael Hopkins in seventh. Mr. Benson going to be in the eighth position. Ben Harcum in ninth. And Mark Herzog going to be in the top 10 there, Mr. Bradley.
Moving on from P11, Matt Harmon going to bugger off there in 11th place with William Emmert, the Ice Cream Man, in P12. P13 will Fancy Zach Henson with Adam Shaw in 14th. Moving on, P15. It's Steve McClendon who finally has busted the win, and Dylan Freeman, who is in P16. P17 here is going to be the boss man, Al Corey, with Sean Bradley 18th. P19 on the night is Nicholas Deal. Can he deal from there? And then Dominic Zanobi will be running the 20th spot.
21st finds Matthew Epting with Keith Handlin going to be in the 22nd spot. Dan Williams in 23rd. It's just so ironic that he is from King William. Unless he just made that up to make it look cool. Donald Ristow in 24th. Caleb Bass in 25th. And Carter Phillips in the 26th spot. 27th is Naj John Crutchley, our race sponsor, the UK native, Mr. Howie Burrows there from Kent, United Kingdom, mate. Blokes and cheeky bastards and all that stuff. Zach Nerney in 29th, and then Matt Alfredson in 30th. And just to wind through, you got Alex Squire, Josh Corner, Tyler Rowless, Cameron Kane in the Miller Lite Automobile, and Eddie Haggy shotgun on the field there in the race.
That was a jolly good accent there. I'll tell you what.
Dude, it's terrible.
I'm quite chaffed.
Chaffed? I thought it was chuffed.
I don't know what it is. I'm American.
America! Our race details are as follows: 75 laps, which for Pocono, that is actually on the longer end of races, at least in raw distance there. Stage will be at lap 25. 3 sets of tires, backup car. We weren't privy to any fuel loads. I'm gonna guess between 18 and 21, but again, that is purely a guess. And if you've watched the channel for any amount of time, my guesses are usually wrong.
And my guesses are no better, so don't expect any guesses coming from me here. My only guess on the night is going to be that it's the final race of the regular season before the playoffs, and I have a feeling
that tonight's going to be a good night. I don't know. Someone still has their car still hasn't loaded, interestingly enough. But we'll figure that out later on. It'll just be Captain Gray for the time being. But we're coming through turn 3, also turn 5 and 6, depending on how you like to count your corners here at the Pocono Raceway. But perhaps that could be a discussion for the middle of the broadcast. But Stephen Gibson's going to lead this thing down. The something or another British Grand Prix, whatever we're racing here, is green flag here at the Poconos.
Long run down here into turn 1, and I almost want to count it as 6 turns just to make some people mad here, but all the way down into turn 1, that number 90 of Stephen Gibson goes through. Brad Kress holding on to second. The outside, it's 809 of Keaton Crothers, who, as you said, needs that redemption from Portland going through. Everybody looks like they're feeling pretty good here tonight, I'll say. We'll see how things go, but Stephen Gibson, I tell you what a takeoff here, and Crothers up into second.
Yeah, Crothers on that outside lane through the tunnel turn, which is seldom an advantageous place to be. And see the run that was not gotten, that will put Cunman in the ideal spot in turn number 3, which is the most important corner here at Pocono because it sets you up for the longest straightaway on NASCAR oval racing. Of course, whoa, that is our race sponsor. And Ward Fisher, he started in the 5th spot. And I think, as our trend tends to be, if you're the race sponsor, no bueno for your event.
race sponsors go one of two ways. They have the best race or the worst race, and there's kind of no in between. So what happened here to Howie? Well, Howie's down low.
Cam came down into Ward. We'll just get a look at it from our top-down cam. Watch Ward here. Big checkup with the Waffle House. 3 wide, not enough space. Howie is just chilling there and not any space to go. Just the epitome of wrong place, wrong time, whatever is more sensible.
Something like that. So that, unfortunately, does mean that Howie, 1 lap in, has to pull out the backup car.
Oh, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Let's, Howie still hasn't made it to the pits yet, but let's just get a little bit of a closer shot of that number 98 automobile. A little bit of damage to the left front, or to the right front, but that should be the beauty of Pocono, Brad, is these caution laps are redonkulously long, probably 2 minutes-ish, minute 45, something about that. So that'll give Howie more than ample opportunity to get repair, and if absolute need be, still have that opportunity to pull the back up. But while this is going on, we're just gonna do a little refresherooski here, because again, there's somebody there right in the back of the field that still has a gray car. Now I have the Trading Paint software programmed to do all the things that it's supposed to do, but even doing that, it still has a mind of its own here, so we'll try to get that sorted out. You'll see some flashes, but all well and dandy. But Stephen Gibson, Brad, and this may be someone that we have to go and it's not called check our schedule. There's a word in the UK for schedule. My God, it's
schedule.
No, it's not that. Because I was watching some. You know how on TikTok there's a lot of like restaurant people, and they'll like just do like customer service skits. The rota. Might have to check the rota. That's what they call like a work schedule. To see when Stephen, if Stephen has taken to the grid, because again, that name doesn't ring too many bells. And again, we do have some other relatively new names here in this series, which is good, because it's always good at the end of a season to still have a solid field, solid car count. Of course, a few weeks ago, Portland, I don't think these guys had it in the budget to go all the way up to the northwest, because we had a very small field. But here on the East Coast, here at Pocono, we're coming out with a full field, 35 cars.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome to see all of the cars here. I'm trying to take a look here into my fancy behind the scenes info to find out when Stephen Gibson last raced. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not really finding anything, which doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it could literally just mean that I am horrible at researching in the background, which, I mean, we kind of all knew that. So anyways, with that being said, seeing Stephen Gibson here and showing off this early, quite impressive to see. I see a couple cars diving in the background. We're 1 lap to green, and well, we are only on lap 4 here as they cross the line. And tell you what, to get to lap 75, it's going to take a lot of patience, I think, here. Well,
this is a call right here, Brad, just to get to lap 25. Pitting on 1 to go. Dylan, not your pit stall. There you go, Brosa. Heading on in, but again, per my very rudimentary guess as to how far they can go, 21 laps, I would be hard-pressed to think they can make it to 25. So maybe if there's another caution, but pitting here may be the call to get you to the stage. We'll see if indeed that is the case, as I did just, in the vein of ChatGPT, Brad, I asked it very nicely. I used the word please, and I said, give me some racing related lines that I could use in my broadcast. And I have about 25 of them to sprinkle on in to tonight's, what is this race called again? The Great British Grand Touring. It's too many words that I can't even enunciate it. The Great British Grand Touring Trophy, the TGB I can't even acronym it. It's just too long. The British race. That's what we're calling it.
British Touring Trophy, I believe, is what we were legally allowed to shorten this to.
Legally.
AKA the guy who decided to name this race told us we could do it. But we're coming around here. Let's get ready to buckle things up and send this one more again. Green flag.
And we're single file here because perhaps of a server setting from the inklings of information. So that'll kind of eradicate the traditional Pocono fanning out of sorts that happens. So that will be good for our race leader. He'll dive on into turn number 1. In the back, oh, you got Emmert. Don't ice cream somebody else. Almost ice creamed the 42 of Benson, but luckily just enough space was given. And there's Clifford, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, the 55. And I believe the 55 is running a little bit special there. Yeah.
There's a jacket potato and some fish and chips. All he's missing is a bottle of water, mate. But yeah, on the top, to the left here, that's called a jacket potato, which basically it's just a loaded potato, but they, for some reason, make it sound like it's cold. And then they had a fish and chip, and that fish and chip maybe just got splashed there with a little bit of concrete paste against the wall, mate.
Oh, not good to see there. Clifford, the big red dog, trying to eat the potato, going up against the wall.
Al Corey's saying out, I'm sure I'll go bugger off, mate. Oh, you cheeky bloke. Speaking of cheeky blokes, here comes Brad Kress going to the inside of Stephen Gibson, having a massive lunge down the straightaway into the corner, mate, side by side here around the racing circuit, around the corner, down the little chute, and they come into the final corner, the final twist, the final left-hand turn around this 2.5-mile circuit, perhaps around 4 kilometers around the Pocono International Motor Raceway Plex here in the United States. Brad Kress is your leader.
Roundy, turn lefty.
Oh no! Cheeky little bugger having a little bit of a folly here to the back, a little bit of a skirmish, a little bit of a skirmish. It's Tyler Ruelas.
You know what? This is such a good one. Here's a replay, and that is Herzog coming through with Tyler going through, and Tyler almost saved it, took a little bit of grass, and then just straight into the pit wall there. Thankfully, no caution, and we continue along here, going on here in the Great British Grand Touring Trophy, lap 7 of 75, and it is Brad Kress leading here, one Mr. Corey.
Yeah, and I like to do Eminem jokes here, but I got some other song references of British nature. Hopefully we could use those.
Oh, bloody hell.
Oh, bloody hell, Mike. Don't call me an idiot sandwich here. I'm not Gordon Ramsay. But here comes Sean Bradley, who is utterly depressed, as is some of the other Canadians, because rip you to you Toronto Blue Jays fans, and I'm not going to lie, that game was sad. Toronto Blue Jays losing. That was a more bitter than a bitter alcoholic drink. I don't drink enough to know one off the top of my head, but he's battling here with the ice cream, the Sea View car. And Sean Bradley using that car that is of his parents' radio local station in Canada, Free Station. I remembered that. Here's Gibson on his fallback tour. Jeremy Brown moving up to the 3rd spot. Again, just trying to solidify, get as many playoff points as possible, as again, the last race of the regular season.
Yeah, the fact that this is the last race of the regular season is very, very interesting to think about here, Corey, as they go, because it's one of those, you remember that and you have to think about what the stakes are for this. You know, it's not the last race of the championship where, you know, whoever finishes up in front, regardless of who it is, gets the championship, but it is the last chance to lock yourself into that top 11. So if you don't have a win, you need a win to get in. So let's see if anyone can pull a magical upset here and break their way in, because that would give them a shot of the championship. And really, I mean, right now your big battle is going to be against Steve McClendon and Jeremy Brown if you are looking to be a championship winner here.
Exactly that here, as here comes Emmert to the inside of the number 42 of Benson. The ice cream mobile. Behind that, you got the number 92 of Nicholas Deal. We're looking for a Coke float here. I've heard of root beer floats, but I've never heard of a Coke float, but I'm sure one could exist.
They're delicious.
Yeah. Sounds pretty tasty here. Maybe it would be super good. One of those orange cream Cokes as a float. That would just be like a creamsicle on steroids here. Got me all excited for some ice cream here. Going a little bit further back, Alex Squire, who was kind of an instigator in that original incident. He's back there battling with Zenobi. And all right, I refreshed Trading Paints, so I have no idea why Matt Alfredson's car is not loading. I can't fix it.
I have a weird feeling that Matt Alfredson has purposely colored the car like that. That's the only thing that would make sense to me.
It's the only car that's not loading. So that is, I am abstaining myself of all fault in that, so nobody complained to me in the Discord post-race. Alan Kunman getting by. Alan Hopkins, Kunman. People making passes here at the Pocono Raceplex Speedway. Down the Long Pond straightaway into the tunnel turn. Brad, do you know what racing circuit the tunnel turn is modeled after?
I sure don't, but I'm hoping you're going to tell me because I'm quite curious.
The Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Each turn here at the Pocono Raceway modeled after a famed racetrack in its era. Of course, turn number 1, a track that nobody knows unless you're a super hardcore kart, USAC, even NASCAR fan of the 80s, the Trenton Speedway that used to be in New Jersey. Track that actually had a right-hand turn in the middle of the backstretch. Do your research. It's actually a super interesting track to look up. Turn 2, of course, being Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and then turn 3 being the Milwaukee Mile. All 3 turns that Pocono is after. I did the research, so you didn't have to. Here it's Kunman underneath Gibson, and then behind that, Hopkins and Harcum with Matt Harmon. That's a lot of H's there in succession. Harmon, remember, he sponsored a race 2 weeks ago, and that went as bad as it possibly could imagine. Actually, it was last week at Martinsville. So again, sponsors not doing too well. Howie, by the way, in terms of a sponsor, 34th last on the lead lap.
Yeah, Howie trying to run back here behind Herzog, trying to look for a pass here up front. The action is coming at you thick and fast here. Dive down the inside. Can the pass stick here with Zach Henson around for company? And that 58 is actually the 73. Let's see here. Ben Harcum trying to fight it around the outside, doing a great job. Matt Harmon now bringing it through as well. Channeling in some of that karting skill that Matt Harmon's son has. The son had to get it from somewhere. Has to be from dad, you'd assume here. Making a move in. Caution.
Oh, my goodness. Alex Squire and the gray car.
Ah, bugger off.
All right, what do these cheeky blokes here do? Oh, that was... Who was that? That was somebody who did a thing of not goodness. And we will have to go from our top-down cam. 51 automobile. That's McClendon. The Raptors Snack Shack Chevy went 3 wide. Damaged the waffle. And then there's Dan Williams, who... The magnet Dan Williams. If there's a wreck, he'll find a way to be in it.
Man, Dan Williams can't catch a break here, but everyone catches a break now, lap 14 to 75, and everyone who pits should make it to the stage without problem. We were on a good run, though. All things considered, as they were going through, I really wasn't sure what was going to happen. Everybody was doing good, but one little case of misjudged clearance, and, well, you can see what that does to a race real quick.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see this time by if any of these drivers will take to the pits. Maybe this second caution will give them enough in the tank to be able to make it to the stage. Again, that'll be lap number 25, so we'll see if that is indeed the case, but again, 25, 50. This is, again, Brad, this is one of the longer races on the season, so I'm just kind of hoping that maybe we'd run this a little bit cleaner and let the strategy play out, but Well, tricky triangles, they don't call that for no reason.
Yeah, the trickiness part definitely showing itself here. And I mean, what's not tricky right now is the pit strategy. I'd say you have to come in unless you're someone who waited till that very last second to come in on the last one, and Keaton Crothers stays out. No surprise there, because I believe he is one that we saw pit with the 1 to green signal, so take some of that track position. Maybe the tires and stuff aren't going to affect as much as we expect, which I feel like that's a famous last words if there's ever been one. So let's see what everyone does here. Anyone taking tires, or is this all fuel? I don't see a single right-hand side going up on any cars. That is all fuel for everyone.
Now, Brad, I want to point out something that I didn't expect to bring up, but if this race goes a sour, it could be of significant interest. And that is as follows. I know you're like, get to the point, Silva. You can see here the virtual time is 3:41 sim time right now. Now,
yes,
it's not on the graphic, but you probably have it on your side, right on the timing sheet. This race is based out of November 2nd. So the solar iRacing is very good at modeling the solar things appropriately. Therefore, the sunset here at Pocono should be pretty early. So, what I'm getting at is if there are a lot of cautions here, we may run into a light issue.
So the sunset at Pocono was 4:56 p.m.
So that would give us about an hour and 15 minutes to sunset. And we do know here on iRacing that it gets pretty dark before sunset, and of course no lights at Pocono, obviously, so I'm not going to say we're going to be racing completely blind, but this is it's going to be a thing. I'm gonna just double check here and on the back end with iRacing, as I have it loaded up here. November 2nd 2025. So yeah, so iRacing is modeling sunset, 4:58. So
this will be interesting. This will be very interesting.
Because we're estimating right now, got to get on the timing sheet that I have, 51 minutes of raw green flag time. So we're guaranteed another caution. This is going to be a Pocono night race.
Pretty close.
I don't think it's going to be close. This is going to be a Pocono night race. And you know what that means? We're going to have trouble seeing the cars towards the end because the way the lighting model is. So, woo, that's going to be fun. I don't know if they thought about that. But I did. But either way, we have Keaton Crothers, again, the Portland Dominator. Some people say Pocono is sort of road coursey, if such word doesn't exist, because they do shift here. They shifted here even before it was a 5-speed transmission. Al Corey on the front row, Cam Kane, top 3, stayed on the racetrack and have yet to pit in the entirety of the event so far.
I think it's interesting a few of these drivers haven't pit yet, as you just pointed out. I mean, they've got to be very confident in making it to the stage here, which they only have to go 9 laps. So they should feel good doing that here as we come around through turn 3 and or turns 5 and 6, depending on how many people you want to upset. And I feel like if we're going on British corner calling, it's turns 5 and 6. So let's see here as they come out. Keaton Crothers has the run there, and that 37 of Cameron Kane is right there with Al Corey's ready to go. And there's the jump. And look at that run away there from Keaton Crothers. A great getaway early on. Al Corey's going to drop down. Cameron Kane wants to come through as well. And, well, let's see how this one rolls here as we roll into turn 1.
Yeah, I think Al Corey forgot to set the alarm clock for his afternoon nap there. Didn't wake up in time for the restart. So that gave a significant advantage to Keaton. And we'll see how it plays out. Again, 8 laps to go to the stage. And we do have some 3 abreast racing going back through the field. There's Dan Williams, there's Stephen Gibson, Hopkins, Kunman, some of the drivers who've already pitted. 3 wide through the tunnel is a great idea, said nobody. Hopefully we can make it through.
Looks like we
high
made
fence.
it through here as we go down into turn 3. Looking at a beautiful fence there, and everybody coming around. It's just, I think the thing that's catching me off. No, I was going to say
that's Jeremy Brown. That's our points leader.
And did they? No, there's a caution.
And we're wrecking in the pits too.
Oh, that's the Alani car.
Well, we may have to scooch a little bit further here, but let's see what happened. That's Michael Hopkins. Hopkins turned him. He turned him, and then there's Sean Bradley. There's Adam Shaw. He got in it. And then into the pit attenuator. There's Nerney. How did Nerney wreck in the pits?
I don't know. It's doing my head in here. Let's see. Let's see what happened here. I think Nerney was just straight up trying to avoid, and
he's like, I'm going to go in the pits, and he's like, I'm going to go the safest possible way to get around this wreck, and I'm still ultimately going to be in it.
I tell you what, he's one of those drivers that we say a lot. If it wasn't for bad luck, you'd have no luck.
Now, we do have to be real, as opposed to fake. Nerney has, as of recently, he's kind of caused his own fate. As the past few weeks, he's been super aggressive. Some of the moves haven't worked, but that was just a matter of just straight dumb luck. But top 3 stay out. Now we're going to basically have a shootout to the stage. And again, Brad, every caution that comes out, I'm becoming more and more paranoid at the end of this race. And I'm not... And again, the reason I'm more paranoid is because from the broadcast perspective, the iRacing lighting model, we don't have all the fancy gamma tricks and all that fun stuff that they have in the real world to make it look brighter. So when it gets really dark, I mean, it's the blind leading the blind here. So tick-tock, tick-tock. But either way, let's see what happens. I think this will basically cement the top 3 into being able to make it till 25. We'll just have to get through the shootout to get there.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one to really see how it goes. I'm kind of with you on the nighttime thing and just sort of watching and seeing what happens, because I don't know how this can go other than, you know, as you're saying, just blind leading the blind. So we'll just sort of have to watch and wait and see what happens. But it's going to be pretty exciting, I'll be honest with you, regardless of what happens. I think it'll be pretty good. So we'll just kind of keep our eyes and ears peeled for it as we come through. Still looking for an idea of who's really going to be the dominant force of this race. There's a couple guys going to the pits.
That's Kunman there, back of the pack, as Barney waving that flag with a vengeance there. Alan Kunman. Now, this could be, Brad, too, at this juncture, drivers could be using this as their opportunity to flip the stage. Pocono, one of those tracks similar to Indianapolis. To a degree, I would throw Michigan in there if you're close enough to the leader, where you pit here, you stay on the lead lap. So, similar to a road course, you see on road courses, it's very common to flip the stage to, you know, pit before the stage, and then once the stage happens, everybody else pits, you stay out, you get the track position. This is a track where that is a very important strategy. So where we're going to go green, probably lap 22. I don't think we're going to have an opportunity to even open the pits before we close them for the stage. So good opportunity to pit.
Yeah, I would personally flip the stage. Anytime there's an opportunity to flip the stage, I always think that's the best decision. And again, maybe that's just a personal preference thing for me and my driving style, but that is just what I like to do. So that's where I go with it. You know, as you said, flip the stage, I think is a good decision, but some guys may not like to do it. You know, to each their own. It sort of just depends. It'll be interesting to see how this goes through here as we continue to pace along. Man, I know we talked about how long these pace laps are, but I forget how long these pace laps truly are at Pocono. They feel like the longest in the season. They feel longer than Portland for some reason.
Let's see here. Again, the fastest lap of the race is Jeremy Brown, and you can see this is just a live lap counter. Let's see. Are we going to push 2 minutes? Are we going to hit 2 minutes? right on the money for about a 2-minute pace lap. This is exciting, folks. This is watching water boil.
This is the sort of stuff that drivers hate, though, if we're honest.
Drivers hate it.
Oh, yeah, drivers hate it just as much as we do.
Yeah, because drivers hate it because, well, the situation, as you know, Brad, what in the turkey duck happened in the back?
They know we're under caution, right? Like, we did tell them
So we
we're
already
under
had,
caution.
who was that last week who didn't? It was Matt Harmon who didn't know how to pit. This is Dan Williams. Wow. I'm just gonna leave that at wow.
What was that, Williams?
He got loose under caution. He didn't shine bright. He didn't perform when the lights were brightest, as a famous NASCAR influencer says. But we'll go green to start lap 22, and then it will race about 3 to 4 laps. Again, the stage should come out at the conclusion of 25, but sometimes there's a little bit of lag in it, so we'll race about 3 to 4 laps until the caution comes out, or potentially if a caution comes out to instigate it ahead of time, but we'll hope that's not the case. Al Corey, Keaton Crothers, Cam Kane to start things off. 1, 2, 3. We're single file due to what appears to be a server side situation that I don't think we could fix on the fly. So single file restarts are what we have. See if Al Corey can be a little more on the wheel for this one.
Definitely think Corey can, and it'll be interesting to see if Al Corey can get a stage win here. That'd be pretty impressive to see from the boss man. Just kind of taking his run and see what can happen. But Keaton Crothers, tell you what, he's got to be feeling good up in front. And anytime you hear the up front car, that is exactly where you want to be. We get going, and that's a good restart there. Al Corey, not bad this time, but not able to capitalize. And we get this thing green. There's a bit of jockeying around there just outside of the top 10. Curious to see how that ends up as we go side by side with Zanobi there for third.
Yeah, then we got Ebert there, who I thought was going to push a 3 wide, but again, Dominic Zanobi in the 5th spot, highest he's been in quite some time. At the MB2, it's pertaining to the initials for what I still believe is his unborn daughter, who will be joining the world relatively soon, and then being affiliated with the Panthers, the Stanley Cup champions there, that pink number 30. But to the inside, Brad Kress, he's already been up front today, trying to get that position back, but couldn't clear. And again, to the inside on the straightaway, and we're wrecking again. That's Matt Harmon.
Oh, Matt Harmon going around there. That is unfortunate to see. And back up into the field. No!
Alan Kunman, and yeah.
Bollocks.
Bollocks is right. Yeah, he came up the track and then couldn't get it corrected well. Oh my God, that. So we'll get 2 more looks at this. The first one, we'll just kind of get the top down of what happened. The second one was, did Kunman ARCA break that? Which at first glance it looks like it, but yeah, he just got loose or tight, just washed up the track, couldn't maintain it. But that, I'm not going to be rude, Brad, until we get the full situation here.
You're not throwing a wobbly. You're not throwing a wobbly, are you?
I'm not going to throw my toys out of the pram yet. Let's see. Yeah, he never slowed down. And the caution was already out at that point. He never slowed down.
Lost the plot, he did.
So,
well, it's a good time for him to queue up for the loo.
Well, indeed. And I guess we'll... we usually do interviews, one-on-one. But, given the circumstance and the fact that it's Howie, we'll just do our stage interview now. Howie, you cheeky little bugger, here at your British event, not having the grandest of days, but doesn't appear anybody's having the grandest of days here today. What's going on here at Pocono tonight?
don't know how people can't keep their cars to themselves right now. The setup's really, really good here. The car's very, very well balanced. I obviously took that damage early, and I sort of that affected me. It actually feels good now that it's repaired, and now I've taken a little bit more, but I can do this bit by bit.
Now, I'll give you one more racing question, one more stupid question. Racing question, does everybody know that this is probably going to end up being a night race at the current timing?
A couple of us have tried flagging it. For some of us have been watching along. I don't know how that's going to end, but I've heard along to that.
Yeah, so we're pushing 4 o'clock virtual time. Pocono sunset is 4:58, and we know the lighting model, so probably about 20 to 30 minutes. It's going to be a struggle out there, so let the guys know to clean it up. But more importantly, this is your event. Being a UK native, you, for some reason, wanted me to struggle with a terrible accent, so what's the motive behind your event here tonight?
I told you that you could. I just want to bring fun race names back to Triple Bypass. I know last season people just sort of like started just naming it after themselves every week, and I really wanted to like bring back some of the wacky ideas that were just a little bit different, and this was a very easy way. I'm sort of the easy one to pick on.
Yeah, absolutely the case here. Well, you're in the pits, get your tires changed, get your fuel. Don't stop for a fish and chippy or anything like that. See, I've already run out. I got no more, but I'll try to sprinkle them in for you. Good luck for the remainder.
I'll do my best.
All right, that is our race sponsor on the evening, Howie Burrows, number 98 automobile. Again, Howie, as everyone comes into the pits here, except Daniel Williams, ironically. Howie, a partner here with the channel who has done a lot to help us out with commentary, and actually does a lot of production on other channels, so good asset, and thanks to Howie for sponsoring. And was that a cough or a laugh, Brad? I couldn't quite make it out.
That was I couldn't hit the mute button to sneeze fast enough is what that was. So, yeah, big shout out to Howie. I've worked with Howie for several years now, and Howie's always awesome. So, big shout out and love to Howie as always. This is a fun race so far, and I'm really excited to see if it goes tonight, to be honest with you.
I think that's more of the interesting segment here. Again, we're pushing, again, if you're tuning in late, this broadcast is based out of today's actual in-sim date. If you're watching it live, today is November 2nd or November 3rd if you're Howie. And Pocono sunset is about a hair under 5 o'clock local time. We are 4 o'clock sim time. And this race is estimated to go at least another 45 minutes. So that means we are pushing the boundaries of light. As we know, you can typically see for about 15 to 20 minutes after sunset, just due to the residual light, which iRacing does model. But again, there are some nuances to the iRacing lighting system. So right at sunset, when you don't have lights, it gets very dark, and we are on pace for a Pocono night race without headlights if we cannot get our acts together here, which is why, Brad, remember the old, actually you don't because you're newish to NASCAR-ish. Back in the 90s, early 2000s, every race started at 1 o'clock, so that way if there was a rain delay or anything else, the race would always be guaranteed to finish. Or you'd have the most opportunity, but now they start races at 3 o'clock, so if anything happens, you're pretty much pushing a window.
Yes.
If they started this race at 1 o'clock, like the Winston Cup days, we wouldn't have problems.
All right, I need in a British accent back in my day, Sonny.
Back in my day when Winston Cup and the points mattered, and you didn't have these cheeky buggery blokey playoffs with all these gimmicks and tomfoolery. We had proper racing, proper points, proper champions, and it was a grand old time. And we went to the Chippy for a Guinness and a fish and chip.
Yep, that's what I wanted. Thank you. That's exactly what I needed. We're on one degree.
And ChatGPT said, you could say I'm taking the mick out of a British accent here. Bloody hell, I can't be arsed. Go bugger off. And hopefully I won't be throwing a wobbly before the end of the night. In parentheses,
I think you've already
having a tantrum.
Your wobbly.
We're getting there. After last week, my fuse is a little shorter, and it's pretty short today, but let's lengthen my fuse. Giggity, green flag.
And a green flag comes through as we suddenly go from British to Quagmire. And, well, there's a Quagmire of a good run of cars in the background who are going 2 wide, 3 wide. Keaton Crothers doing some great defense there on defending champion Steve McClendon. We're 3 wide up front with Nerney in the filling of the sandwich.
That's Adam Shaw all the way up to the top of the racetrack. Adam is not on the lead lap. Trying to get his lap back the old-fashioned way. But so far, not doing that to cause. Daniel Williams up front. Williams pit fine. He pit right before the stage, so is in a good spot. He has not used his fast repair, even though he's been in a couple incidents, but thus far it's chugging along as turn 3 wall is very populous, and they fan out.
Yeah, these drivers are struggling with that turn 3 wall, and I do not know why. Why is turn 3 catching so tricky for so many people? Somebody can answer it, because I sure can't here. As we get going and continue along, let's look there on a 2. Herzog in the wall. That's going to push Ford Fisher up. Fisher drops low, and then splitting the middle will be that number 92, just going through, making no deal out of a big deal.
Oh, that was Hopkins direct to the rear deck lid, rear bumper cover of the number 84 Ward Fisher. That is the sun, and I will tell you, for those drivers in virtual reality or with HDR turned on, that sun actually is brutal in sim. It is modeled quite well. Of course, we don't have that on HDR on here on the YouTube side, but either way, 3 wide off the corner. Herzog to the bottom. You have Eddie Haggy. You have, I think, Carter Phillips in the mix. Drivers outside of the top 10, but going up to the front of the pack. Have some battling going on. Harcum in second has gotten around Crothers. We're thrown off here with the lappers. Steve McClendon's up here getting a push from Gibson. I think some of our lineup is thrown off, Brad, because of our single file restarts. Our lappers aren't getting squished to the back, but either way, some good racing. Gibson, our pole sitter, trying to get back to the front.
Yeah, and Gibson doing a great run here, trying to move through that sun. Really just in the worst possible spot going through, I'll be honest.
Oh, Steve!
McClendon saves it barely.
Well, I wouldn't call that a save, because the wall was his crutch there, so without the wall, would have been a lot worse off as the Miller Lite Mobile of Cam Kane heads to the inside. And again, great job up front by Dan Williams by hanging on, showing the speed up front, hasn't lost it. So I thought he would fall much quicker, but not to be the case here. Here comes Brad Kress underneath Emmert here in the tunnel turn. Emmert going all the way, running the extreme line there, which is not advantageous. Sean Bradley, who had a little bump and skirmish earlier, he's trying to recover 8th spot going to 7th.
And trying to recover that spot up into 7th, continuing along. That number 90 just great moves there up into 4th. Battling it out with Keaton Crothers, looking for P3 now as he goes through. Steven Gibson, he did his best Alicia Keys mode and fell down. Yeah, sorry, I stole that for a second there, Corey, but he did that, and now he's trying to just, climb back up. I don't have a good joke for that one, but I'm not here for the jokes. I'm here for the analysis, and I let you come up with the good jokes here and there as we go. Still great battles going through. Brad Krests as well, trying to get past Cameron Kane.
Exactly that here, and good news on our night front. We're estimated about 40 minutes to finish this race, probably closer to 42, 43 after pit stops. And we are on pace to finish this about 10 minutes before sunset. So it'll still be dark, but we won't be pushing the boundaries of light here as much as that was Brad Kress, who had some significant interest with the safer barrier. You got to get everything you can get off turn 3, Brad. It gets you down the front stretch, but any bit of aero damage here at Pocono is terrible. And there is Adam Shaw with his ridiculous lines again.
I mean, listen, it's not ridiculous if it works, right?
This
Like,
dude
let's
would run
just
the
make
this
sure.
dude would run the outside at the Sonoma hairpin the way he's been running his laps. And I didn't even notice he has a British flag on his roof. I know the hood in the UK is called a bonnet. You know, you got the bonnet and the boot is the trunk. I don't know what the roof's called. I think that's still called a roof.
Maybe. I don't actually know. That's a good question. You know what? That's a very good question, actually.
Papa Goog or Papa Chatsky. Now, Nerdy up here as well. Nerdy 1 lap down. He's in the mix. And again, so oh my God, the wall. Our single file restarts, what I don't think is happening is our lappers aren't getting sent to the back. The rule on the consecutive caution. I don't know. I'm trying to read what's being sent here, but I'm still not making sense of it because every restart.
So basically, so if they go and they don't complete a full lap on the server, then what happens is it forces single file restarts to be set. I believe is what the rule is there.
And it doesn't switch back, so it's permanent essentially after that one occurrence. Okay, I just want to make sure. But what it's not doing is it's not setting the lappers to the back. So you have Nerney up here, you have Adam Shaw up here, kind of in the mix, but they're showing speed. They're hanging on. So if they can get that lap back, they'll need a caution. But what happens here at Pocono is we do have a battle enter in turn number 1 here, and that's Adam going all the way to the top. There's Crothers, McClendon, obviously not too damaged off that wall contact, but this is a track that the longer you go, the more it spreads out. The more it spreads out, the less likely yellows are to come out. So tends to be a track that runs green, but just as I say that, never mind.
And caution is out. Let's dial up the replay here and see
Why are
what
you
this
on the
caution
apron,
was
bro?
for.
But did he? Let's see if he was exiting the pits or if he was. Brad, you're gonna. I'm just gonna let. I'm gonna give this one to you. I'm not gonna talk. You just analyze this one.
Let's just. All right, so let's take a look. Oh, Jeremy Brown gave him the old bump, and then I think that just got him a little bit off kilter into the entry. And then, well, it was what it was. Unfortunate to see there, but that little tap from Jeremy Brown, I think, was just enough to upset him and have him carry too much speed on corner entry, or at least that's what I'm going to say here. Let's see if I'm right. And yep, there it was.
Yeah, you got. So I didn't. At first glance, I'm like, why did Bro just drive straight to the apron? But now we saw why. He got pushed into the corner way faster than he wanted to go. And that was no bueno, to say it generically. But this puts us in a spot. 40 to go. We're still out of a pit window to make it to the end. Again, this puts us in another spot where, again, we're closer and closer to running out of daylight. But interesting things. There's Adam Shaw. Well, there'll be one set of lights here, Brad. At the very least, we will have a set of headlights in turn 1 because, well, exiting the pits, because the pace car has headlights and the pace car's headlights do work. So at the very least, we'll have light in one corner of the racetrack. But again, we shouldn't, barring an absolute utter catastrophe, have that kind of situation. Now, interestingly enough, we have Adam Shaw getting a lap back, and we have Nerney getting a lap back. So free pass, I understand. That would have been Shaw. Why Nerney's getting a lap back?
From what I understand from what I just got in the background is that Shaw and Nerney should have been in P2 and P3, and that the server put the leader past them and they would not put them back on the lead lap as they should have been. So it held the rest of the field behind them, but it let Daniel Williams pass them.
Oh, so what you're saying is this is just an interesting night with a bunch of hoopla.
Yeah, basically, we're on hoopla watch right now. Is what's happening.
Hoopla!
Is everyone's in hoopla. I'm gonna get yelled at by my wife for that one.
Wasn't that an episode of SpongeBob?
Yes.
It was the Krusty Krab instructional video one. Hoopla!
That is exactly where it's from. I'm glad you know where that's from, actually.
I knew about every SpongeBob quote possible up until about the last season or two, and then at that point I kind of aged out of Nickelodeon. But Jeremy Brown up front, remember he was sideways on the front straightaway at some point or another, but up front has already utilized his fast repair and has since been on the raceway for 10 laps. So he would be approximately halfway through his stint, and to see everybody else fresh, he is the only one to stay out. I don't know if that's a tire issue. I don't expect it to be. However, he's going to need to pit in about 10-12 laps, and that puts him still out of window. So I think he is hoping for some more cautions to, just throw a little bit of a lottery here, just kind of throw things upside down. I think that's what he's going for.
Did we switch to Australian somewhere and I missed it? Like, what is...
Isn't Australia some kind of, like, subsidiary of UK?
They were a British colony for a long time, and they do still celebrate, like, the King's birthday and stuff, from what I understand. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm world geography. I'm okay at it, but I'm not going to act like I understand world geographical politics to that degree. So, with that being said, Corey, look what we're back to. We're back to double file.
Yeah, we're doubled up, stacked up, and ready to go back. Green flag racing behind the iRacing.com generic sedan of choice. And the world has underwent a yellowing of sorts as, again, the sun going down here over the Pocono Motor Raceplex. As, again, we are now at 4:11 virtual time, Mr. Brad, and we have now hit halfway. So, at our current pace, we are probably hitting sunset. Which, again, I will repeat it one more time and I'll kind of stop talking about it. You could usually see for about 10 to 15 minutes after sunset. So, realistically, we got about 45 to 50 minutes to get this race over with before we literally have a Pocono night race. So, guys, we're all racing to a unified goal. We want to race till we can see. So, we got to get this chugging along.
Yeah, I have a feeling that the guys are getting yelled at too by admin, because admin tend to keep things on in the background, such as our broadcast, and so when they do that, they hear what we say, and a lot of the times they just communicate what we say directly to the drivers, because they know that what we say is sometimes actually somewhat accurate. So let's see how this one goes, as the pace car is going to pull off, and we are going to get going here. Jeremy Brown, Steven Gibson, Brad Kress, Nicholas Deal, top four, and well, Jeremy Brown is going to just check out there in the best way possible on this restart.
Now he got that advantage and gets to the ideal line, gives himself that perfect arc into turn number one, and now Brad Kress, who again started up front and got relegated a little bit further to the back. Ooh, super tight call there with Steven Gibson. Again, these were the drivers on the front row, and now they're as high up as they've been in recent memory. Getting that clean air, and let's go three wide, entering the tunnel. No, was never been a good idea. Thought we were going to wreck, but good evasive driving by Zenobi, and I think that's Carter Phillips there to the outside to evade any further issues.
I was really worried that we were about to see a big one here, Talladega or Daytona style at Pocono going through, but looks like everyone holding on here. That is John the Knowledge Crutchley coming through.
Oh, we're wrecking.
Okay, well, I'm just going to shut my mouth, because that is, I believe, Benson who is in the wall.
So, Brad, I'm going to ask you of something, and you can reject this, okay? I'm not going to pressure you to.
All right, Mike.
I'm going to ask of you to go into the lobby room with all the drivers and let them know that if they don't clean this up, it's literally going to be a night race. And if they don't already know that. You can see there the wreck. He came up on Hagee there. But as every minute goes by, and you can already tell by some of our cameras, we're 35 laps to go, and it is We don't have 35 laps of light left.
Yeah, we said what? It's 4:54 is the
4:58,
sunset time.
and we are 30 minutes of green flag time left. And yeah, so at the rate we're pushing with caution flags, we are going to be pushing sunset, which means it's going to be no bueno.
Okay, well, I think this will be interesting just to see how it plays out. So I think we're just going to let the drivers see how it happens.
Okay. I'm like, do we give them a heads up that
All right, so 35 laps. I'm showing 31 minutes remaining, roughly, of race time.
and there's still at least one more set of pit stops. Now this is, so we have 2 laps. We're probably having at least 3 laps. So let's do, it's going to take us 6 minutes to do the next 3 laps rather than the probably 2 3/4 minutes it would normally take. So
I just got confirmation from a driver privately that it is well known that they are racing into a nighttime Pocono race.
okay, so they know. Yeah. You gotta leave me alone. You're supposed to say they know. I know you know some rap
They
songs.
know.
I don't.
Listen, the real is on the rise.
They know.
Yes,
they know.
yes.
They know.
Yes.
That's all I know. I don't know modern rap.
Well, modern rap is not that good, so
Yeah,
you're missing out
They
on
said the
literally
first
nothing.
time since I think it was that late 80s or 90s that a rap song is not on the top 40 Billboard list because of how terrible.
Because-
yeah. That's
Yeah.
modern rap music. So
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. Like, nobody cares. Anyways,
I do explicit things, and I put fancy things on my car, and then I do explicit things, and then I do other explicit things. That is just what modern rap music. Do we talk to
it's
some?
just
I mean,
horrible.
we're running out of filler. We've already gone over the points. We've already talked to our sponsor.
Did we do a recap for last week? I don't know if we have or not.
Oh, sugar fairies.
Good job. So no, we have not done the recap yet.
Well, Corey has a little. We'll have to do that on the next caution.
Corey forgot to set up the recap for last week.
Sundays have been a very busy day for me, and the Martinsville recap is 4 gigs. So yeah, we're gonna have to do that on the next caution. So guys, I need you to have one more caution just so I can do the recap, and then after that we'll be good. 4 gigs, Al. How long is that video? Al must have put work into that one. So yeah, so we have to get that one out there.
I didn't think it was super long. I mean,
Usually
I
they're
watched
about,
it.
usually
I
they're about
also-
a gig and a half, unless he put like, did he render that in like 8K or something?
I'm trying to remember, but I don't remember because I usually download and watch those, which doesn't help at all because I have no way to like instant transfer you the file to prevent you from having to.
No,
like,
I mean, it's
download all of the
completely my
gigs,
own issue
so.
of not doing it ahead of time. So, but anyways, that is that. As we round this Pocono Raceway, and you can see the sun just doing its sun things. Jeremy Brown thought he was pitting, but he was just entertaining himself. So, Brad, how about you pick somebody? Actually, let's make sure we're not on one to go. Make sure it doesn't go blue. Oh, it went
And
blue.
it went blue, so disregard.
1 to go.
So
Go ahead.
here is what I think is about to happen. One of 2 things. We're about to not have another caution, or we're going to end up with somebody spinning in turn 2.
Oh, it's already dark, dude. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
No, somebody's spinning in the background on the front stretch. Who is that? Who? Jesus Christ on a motorbike.
Jesus Christ on a motorbike. I gotta know. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Please don't tell me he was probably watching Max and Beatty. Didn't catch the checkup. Luckily, it's Pocono, so we have time. Yeah, he was paying absolutely zero attention, didn't see the checkup.
Kids, this is why you don't text and drive.
Coming from someone who works in the insurance industry, take that guy's work. Take that guy's information literally.
You gotta be.
Brad, imagine if we were like a race spot and all like the filler material we'd have to talk about to make this professional. Good thing these guys let us have fun with this, right?
Oh, I can't be arsed. Can't be arsed.
Oh yeah, I forgot we were doing that. Bollocks. I'm absolutely gobsmacked about this race. It's getting dodgy.
Listen, it's all gone pear-shaped. It's all gone pear-shaped. Like, that's... It's a few sandwiches short of a picnic, and it's all gone pear-shaped. So this is going to be interesting. Jeremy Brown bringing this thing around to go green, coming through to the restart zone. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle it up. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2. There's the green flag from Barney. Let's send this thing 1 mile again, Corey.
Absolutely, going down the front straightaway here at the Pocono Speedway. Pocono Speedway, it's not owned by SMI. Maybe it will be in the future, who knows. But driving off into turn number 1, we are rather spread out. We are spread out more than a sand...
Spread out more.
Pimps in the crib, ma, drop it like it's hot. There is... He just got loose. And he just got loose. Good job by Crothers there. I'll give him full marks in his evasitory things. Let's go on board with Keaton here.
All right, riding on board with Crothers.
Woo!
I don't know that we can give that a Ricky Rudd save of the race.
Not quite. That was good evasion. And it is very rough down there on the flat where he ended up going down. It is actually super rough down there on that runoff pavement to the inside of the Long Pond straightaway. Right to where we are now. You don't want to be below that yellow line. It's paved, but it's bumpier than a Massachusetts freeway. Even though we're one of the most highly taxed states in the country, we still can't fix potholes. But anyways, that recap video that studded my connection for a little bit, but we got it downloaded, and let's take a look at what happened in the 20 caution affair that was Martinsville last week. October 26th, 2025 brought the Triple Bypass Nichols Oil Pros Series to the historic half mile of Martinsville Speedway for the Harmon Racing 185, proudly sponsored by Matt Harmon. The paperclip-shaped oval produced its trademark bump and run action across 189 laps, featuring 4 leaders, 7 lead changes, and a painful marathon of 20 cautions that slowed the field for 80 laps. The race was broadcast live on YouTube by Primetime Racing TV with me, Corey Silva, and my partner Brad Dalton calling the action. When the dust settled, it was Stephen McClendon in the number 51 parking it in victory lane after a terrific performance. McClendon started from the pole and controlled much of the race, leading an incredible 116 laps and collecting 52 total points, including 9 stage points and 3 bonus points. His restarts were flawless, and his rhythm through the tight corners of Martinsville kept challengers behind. Right on his bumper at the finish was Brad Kress in the 9, just 0.3 seconds behind. Kress ran a clean race, kept his fenders intact, and earned 44 points for his runner-up effort. Jeremy Brown followed closely in third, wheeling the 46 car to another strong outing, even with some incidents, leading 14 laps and earning 44 points. 4th place went to Chad Bear, who led 47 laps and stayed in contention through the long string of cautions. Nicholas Deal rounded out the top 5, climbing from 18th to 5th in an impressive charge through the field. The fastest lap of the race belonged to McClendon, who clocked an 18.6 second heater on lap 162. Stephen McClendon earns full honors as the winner of the Harmon Racing 185 as he punched his ticket to the Season 9 playoffs. Congratulations to him. We hope you enjoyed this Triple Bypass Nichols Oil Pros Series recap. We'll see you next time. And we're back here after that race recap, the Triple Bypass Nichols Oil Pro. I'm allowed to screw it up tonight. Nichols Oil Pros Cup Series here, the Great British Grand Touring Trophy. Did I type that right? Say it right? I did.
Yes.
Again, myself, Corey Silva in the booth. Kind of wish I wasn't, but I am. Brad Dalton here with the calls. We're supposed to be being British, but we've already used all of our puns and patience. Brad, I've heard that some updates are stirring in the administrative quarters.
Yeah, it's a bit of a dog's breakfast, but looking at this race, we do think this race may end early due to darkness. I don't know what the accent is. We're going with it. But yeah, so bit of a dog's breakfast here. We are on a crunch against time, and if it gets too dark and the drivers can't see, well, here's the problem is that Pocono does not have track lights, so the track is not always lit. So the cars would need headlights, but they don't have them. They're just stickers. So what do we do here? Well, if it gets too dark, admin will have to call it, and I have confirmed that that is on the table. The fun of having a lot of people in the background telling me all the fun things that the drivers and admin talk about that I don't get access to hear live is that, well, it is on the table for the possibility that this race gets called due to nighttime. It's almost like we're back in your day, Corey.
Yeah. I mean, actually, if you're ever bored, folks, look up the 2000 Die Hard 500 qualifying at Talladega. They literally ran qualifying pitch black. Jeff Burton drove off into turn 1, and you didn't see him until he hit turn 4. And they did that at 190 miles an hour, and NASCAR allowed it. Things that'll never happen again, but little tidbits of information. Look it up on the tube of use. But pace car pulls in. Jeremy Brown will get on the pedal that makes the engine go vroom to get our race restarted.
4T7 of 75 going through, and the number 90 going around, and I see a couple guys going wibble wobble, weeble wobble in the background. Here we go, bip bop, Bob's your uncle. Can Steven Gibson get the pass? We're going to find out here as Brad Kress goes through, and well, that Alani car, that number 35, deep in the mix here of the battles, trying to find his way through. Daniel Williams, that is, trying to find his way through here. Mid-pack, backpack, it's the best pack, all battling around, and chip, chip, cheerio, and well, you must be having a laugh here. Down the inside goes the 35 on the 78, side by side the 18. Save it. Okay, we'll keep the
Zach
back
Henson. Henson did a great job there because Epting ran him up the track, and he got turned, and he saved it. Did he save it? Did he save it? Did he save it? He saved it, but Cam Kane didn't.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, another 8 minutes in iPacing Simulator.
Now, at this point, they're going to have to. I mean, we don't tell them what to do, obviously, but that was a hard incident, hard contact. But take one more look. They're going to have to make the call pretty soon because, in fairness, a couple times NASCAR has short races early. At New Hampshire, that's what comes to mind most recently. There's the big save by Epting, and I think that may have been netcode or something, but there's Benson and Epting again. But in fairness to the drivers, with the fact that we do have some different fuel strategies and tire sequences and all that, I think if they are going to make a call, it would be in fairness to make it pretty quick so that they can plan the rest of the race accordingly.
Sorry, I'm getting back-end info that is taking me out of commission here.
Or how about this?
Share.
They should, you know what? If you guys can't drive and you get a wreck every 10 seconds, you should drive in the dark. That should be your punishment. How about that?
You know, I kind of thought about that. You know what would be really messed up, though? They would probably drive better in the dark. Like, let's be honest for a second. It'd be one of those reverse engineer things. Not reverse engineer, but like mind trick things where they'd know it's dark and then just drive fine.
Yeah. And I'm reading the what you've DM'd me, and it's not a bad idea.
I thought about that. I'm not gonna lie. I thought about making that joke, but I thought that would be in bad taste.
Just like British food. Actually, no. British food just has no taste, from what I've been told. Anyways, I did try at Walmart. I went into the frozen food section, and they got the Gordon Ramsay frozen food, which isn't that so ironic in and of itself that Gordon Ramsay, who just makes fun of fresh food, actually sells a frozen TV dinner.
I was going to say Gordon Ramsay and frozen don't go together, so the fact that there's frozen Gordon Ramsay food has me questioning things. I think I'd rather eat Vegemite before I ate frozen Gordon Ramsay TV dinners. I would agree
with that. Now, what we got going on? We got Brad Kress coming in. I think this is the part where I guess it's actually probably a good call to pit now, because this gets you to the end of the race where you don't have to worry about what happens with the potential darkness early call. But Jeremy Brown, I don't know, this might be like Jeff Gordon in 2007 when he was praying for rain. I know we've had a lot of cautions, but he can't have more than 5 or 6 laps left.
Yeah, I wouldn't think, but I mean, if he's doing hardcore saving and turning the engine off and coasting a lot throughout these 2-minute pace laps, he could be in a really good position. We just don't realize it.
Now, let's try to find... I don't really have a good camera of the sun at all, but that might be because the sun is already gone. We go from our top-down cam, you can see that I would imagine the sun is probably somewhere in turn 1-ish, maybe? Question mark? Yeah. It must be somewhere over here. This is the brightest part of the track, so... But again, virtual standard time right now, we are at 4:30, so we have 20 minutes to sunset, 20 minutes of race time, but we are, at this point, we absolutely are going over sunset, so...
even after sunset, there still might be a little bit of light. So, if they're butting right on sunset, they might be thinking they're okay. I think it really just depends on how truly dark it gets in the car at that point. And that's a judgment call that,
Yo, Dylan.
Whoa! But not again. I get pulled in every time there's a...
No, we're bored, frustrated, and just need something to talk about. So just talk. What you got going on? How's life?
Going good. Watched the end of the NASCAR season today. Not too thrilled with the champion. My race has been something. Yeah, y'all really just need to fill some airtime, huh?
Did you know that?
Give me a music question,
Did you know that Wendy's has shredded lettuce now instead of leaf lettuce? You that's going on?
That is a huge upgrade to me because that.
All right, go.
Nah,
all right. Bye.
Lettuce.
Bye. Can't. No. That opinion is not allowed here. That's just. I had a junior bacon cheeseburger and it had shredded lettuce, and absolutely not. That opinion's not allowed here.
Oh my gosh. Also, info for you. Pitting right now does not get you to the end of the race. I have had that confirmed.
Okie dokie.
So yeah, we are still outside of that final pit window.
So that is interesting, but at the same time, don't you want to have that blessing of you know, I don't know. We'll pull up the stints one more time on our ticker here. And 25, so 15. So the most comfortable person is Al Corey back there in the 12th spot. I guess Emmert relatively comfortable, but if you're Jeremy Brown, if you're everybody else, you're hoping that this gets called early. I guess, but like we were saying, if they're going to call it early, I feel like that decision has to get made in the fairness of the drivers to be able to predict the end of their race and prepare for it. So, but we certainly are not going to have 24 minutes, 24 laps worth of daylight, but we'll find out what happens here. Barney is probably going to need rotator cuff surgery by the time this one's over. Luckily, the UK health system's cheaper, so if he moves over there, he get it done. Green flag in the air.
Yeah, good green flag going through, and it might be cheaper, but you got about a 6 month
wait.
wait.
Pete's sake, come on!
Oh my! And we're still wrecking. We're still wrecking.
We're going to commercial. We'll be right back.
All right, and welcome back, everybody, here to the Great British Tour Grand Pocono Triangle Race. Let's get a quick instant replay of what happened. This was on the restart, and it looks like, well, unfortunately for Herzog, just caught up in an incident that then brings in Freeman and Naj and several other drivers getting wrapped up in that as well, and it looks like just light checkups on the beginning that just did not calm down here as we go through to pacing yet again here, racing against the darkness. It is lap 53 of 75. We're looking at approximately 20 and a half minutes plus a few bit of time here. Sunset is at 4:54, if I remember the time right, 4:53, 4:54. And as it stands right now, if we went all the way through 4:58, there we go. Thank you in the background there, Corey. And as it stands right now, as cars pit in, we still have about another 5 minutes under caution, and then it would be about 18 minutes of green flag running. So you do the math, that's 24 minutes. We're under 20 minutes to sunset. So where does that put us at? Well, right in that very, very close window here. Few drivers are out of this session. Few guys are running through here. Everybody into the pits. This should be the pay window. Pay window should now be open, so this should be the point where if you pit in, you should be able to make it. I can tell you right now, we've lost Alex Squire, we've lost Alan Cummin, we lost Tyler Royellis, and we have lost Matt Harmon, we've lost Brad Kress, and we lost Ben Harcum, a couple of the drivers.
Could you add me to that list?
And we've lost our British wannabe commentator, Corey Silva, here on the night. So this is where...
We got 23 viewers. A lot of them are probably drivers. But, I just want to... I like to do this... wait, actually, never mind. Because we're on 1 degree. We just got called 1 degree. So I was just going to go dive into my own personality for those who don't understand the nature of PTR TV, but that will probably happen on the next caution. But either way, Jeremy Brown, who is pushing for darkness at this point, he is stretching the fuel way farther than it probably could go, hoping that this gets called, because that's his only guess. 20 laps to go, And we're singled up against the outside wall, and Barney waves it again.
And green flag is out. Looks like single file is getting running here. Jeremy Brown up in the front, going through. We got a battle for 5th place there coming along here. Dive up the inside, and we get into turn 1 this time on the restart. Give it up for turn 1, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I remember we looked about 10 minutes ago, and this was the brightest part of the racetrack, and that can no longer be said here as heading down the back straightaway, Jeremy Brown trying to break the draft of Stephen Gibson, our pole sitter, who is trying to get back into the thick of it. We have the generic car up front. That is Alfredson, but he is not on the lead lap. Entering the corner here through the fence. That is a fence, because that's what fences are. Alfredson in 10th. We're side by side up. Nerney, who has been up and down through the pack today, passing Carter Phillips, who has been pretty quiet here on the evening from the broadcast.
Yeah, being quiet on the broadcast here this evening is probably a good decision here. As we go 20 laps to go, down the inside goes Keaton Crothers past Carter Phillips there, getting his move up into P8 as Nerney continues along. Here comes Michael
save
Hopkins.
It, please, for all that is good in the world, save it.
Oh, everyone keep it together. I see cars swerving in the background. We keep it through in that generic car of Daniel Williams, if that's who that was again.
It's Matt Alfredson.
Keeps it going, and Clifford the Big Red Dog is going to go enjoy his little potato on the bottom of the track.
Oh, is Jeremy Brown pitting? He may be out of petrol, or soon to be, pulled to the inside. And yeah, Jeremy Brown needs to stop for some petrol here into the pits and hopefully evaded any penalty. He will be hoping that this race goes green to the end, because per what you've said, they probably can't make it to the end of the race if we again push all physics and try to finish this thing through. We got about 15 minutes of racing to have under green. We got 15 minutes of sunset until sunset, but see the shadows on the walls. You can see that it is pretty dark. We'll go on board here with one of these drivers, and this is okay. You can see how bright that dash is. This is fine. Woo! That is where the sun was. And
that is miserable.
Yeah, that is absolutely. And I say we got about, we got well, literally we got 15 minutes, but we absolutely cannot take another caution.
Not at all. We'll see here how it plays out as we go along. That 58 up in the front, running his way through. I believe that is actually the 73 of Zach Henson in P3, who is the 58. And then Caleb Bass, trying to go bass fishing here, looking to get that Hendricks 478 up into P3 here. He started 25th. He's up into 4th. He taps the wall there on the exit of 1, but he's up 22 places on the day. So he's having a pretty good day here going through.
It just got abruptly dark here. Actually, this will be interesting to see if the pace car, I think we've had, basically for those who don't know, and I'm not going to get overly technical, there's kind of a switch in the lighting system on iRacing that happens just before sunset. And I think that has happened right now. So the pace car may actually have its headlights on here.
I think that is what just happened, actually. Just judging.
Not yet, but
maybe not.
Yeah,
we're close.
Yeah, there's a very, very definitive change in the aesthetics in the world just before sunset when iRacing kind of dictates it as a night session. There's kind of renderer things that will get changed in a few builds once the new system comes out, but that's all tech jargon that you don't care about. There's Dominic Zanobi, Nicholas Deal having a battle. And these drivers have gotten absolutely just murdered on the radio, rightfully so, by admin. And so hopefully this is the run to the end, given what's on the table, which is a shortened race or a blind race, as here comes Zanobi underneath Carter Phillips, who is on the downfall.
Even that hard run through, Carter Phillips trying to just keep that number 1 car pushing forward here. And I kind of wonder, who did Carter Phillips pay off to get that number 1 going through? As Zanobi is down the inside here. Zanobi repping the big bow tie, sending it through. And let's see, he sends that Toyota down low into turn number 1. And I believe he is going to clear it there and actually get through on the Coors Light car. Maybe I spoke way too soon. And he's going to keep it side by side here. And this is the battle for P14, but they're treating it like it's the battle for the lead here. The battle for the lead is getting pretty interesting as well, because Sean Bradley is trying to close the door on Steven Gibson here in that C-View car. That number 77 is slowly reeling him in here just by about a half a tenth a lap, but he's got 16 laps to go, and 16 half a tenths will be just enough.
Yep, and it's, I don't think I've raced one of these. I remember when iRacing first came out with the day-night transition system in 2018. Ran a race at Atlanta, and people forgot that the lights at Atlanta didn't work. You know, the old Bob Hopkins joke. And we ended up running into the night, which was no bueno. But luckily things are starting to normalize out here, but drivers will want to get their passes made. Dan Williams and Steve McClendon. McClendon, who just been all over the place, had a couple contacts with the wall, but not really having a Steve McClendon day, and that certainly cements that fact.
It's almost like McClendon knew we were talking about him as he smacks there. Caleb Bass and Al Corey going side by side here. Let's see what Caleb Bass can do to defend as Al Corey has a run and Nerney's right in the back, kind of looking to pick up the scraps of who gets ahead of who here, and then just go ahead and pass him as Nerney is just tucked in here, tucked in here, tucked in here. Backs out a little bit earlier than Al Corey and Caleb Bass. He's just, again, looking to capitalize here, looking to have a good run. This is the most green flag runner we've got all day at this point.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but you probably just jinxed it here. Let's hope nothing happens entering the tunnel turn, as Sean Bradley is getting closer, keeping an eye on that interval as Al Corey pulls it back in line. We're side by side. Alfredson in the generic automobile. Let's not go 3 wide into the tunnel, guys. That is a terrible idea, and luckily we have evaded doing such, but this is quite the gaggle here. Entering turn 3. There's Donald Risteau, pardon me, who we haven't really talked about once tonight, I don't believe. And pit stops.
Well,
Bradley,
Henson,
and Gibson, again, racing to darkness. We got 10 minutes left, approximately, of race time here. I think we're going to finish this out, as dark as it may or may not get. I think we're finishing this out one way or another.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes here, as we have to guess who has saved enough fuel at this point to make it to the end and who hasn't. And it seems like right now everybody looking in a pretty good position, as those top drivers are now dropping well down the order. Look at this. Caleb Bass and Al Corey now battling it out for the lead going through. There is Al Corey through, and Zach Nerney now trying to fight his way through. He gets past Caleb Bass. Now it's Al Corey and Zachary Nerney battling it out for the lead with 12 laps to go.
Just want to give him this satisfaction. Al Corey leading a race, a lap led. Just want to give him that satisfaction. 19 laps in, had a lot of cautions, but 31 laps. I think the longest we saw anybody go was 28, but that was with a lot of cautions. And this stint, knock on my particle board desk, has been more on the cleaner side. Keaton Crothers there in third, looking pretty. I would say Keaton Crothers, Michael Hopkins, Cam Cade, those drivers, I mean, I don't know exactly, but they would be more apt to be able to make it. But I'd say going back to Emmert, he's probably, William Emmert, sitting in the most advantageous position right now.
I would agree with that completely, and we'll see how it plays out, how it capitalizes as all of these drivers just get their belts tightened up, try to get things finished. Now they've got to sort of lock in here as they realize, like, hey, this race is running green now. We're not, just racing the next caution. And here we go down the inside. Is this going to be a pass for position? That 35 sending it through. Can he get past McClendon? Well, Daniel Williams is certainly giving it the old college try.
Yeah, I saw Nicholas Deal in the 92 get super close, trying to create one of those Coke floats there. Nearly made contact with Emmert. Again, both of them, that could be the race for the win with the 92 and the number 405 of McClendon, so rather of Emmert. So that could be the battle for the win. They have the most fuel on offer to finish this thing out as we close in on 10 laps to go. Again, if you're watching this, if you're just tuning in, as Michael Hopkins coming in, if you're just tuning in, don't adjust your set, don't adjust your phone. This is a Pocono pseudo night race now. We are pushing the edge of daylight here. Started late, just due to the calendar date of the race, and we've had a lot of caution, so we're pushing the brisk of darkness here, but a lot of pit stops still to have. Who's going to make it? Who's not? Are we done with cautions?
10 to go here. We're not done with this race yet, so we're not done till the white flag comes. That's a very close squeeze there. And also, yeah, if you're wondering, well, it's like 5 o'clock almost. Why is it dark in Sim? Welcome to daylight savings time and time change. It is the absolute most archaic, atrocious thing that we have, that we do, but here we are doing it, and I can't stand it. And that is my soapbox to be finished here. 9 laps to go. Battle is still raging on. Nicholas Deal here said he might not finish. He's going to finish and sit it up the inside on Steve McClendon and try to get a pass done.
Now McClendon, I wonder if McClendon is in fuel save mode just to try to make it to the end, because the first driver to pit is all the way back in the 20th position. Sean Bradley, he's just at the start-finish line right now. So maybe going in ultra fuel save mode for McClendon. That's about 25 seconds on the racetrack that he is ahead of those pit stop guys. Up front, Al Corey holding on to a gap of about 0.2 of a second. Let's take a look at, never mind, Sean Bradley.
No, not Sean.
Now this does a couple things. A, it pushes us closer to darkness, and B, it will be interesting on the strategy.
Well, this just shook this entire race up.
All right.
Where
sorry,
did it happen?
I know I may have went a little early, but should be any second now. He's entering turn one. Oh, he just got loose. Hospital wobble right in front of Hinson there.
Oh, that was a hard hit. Goodness gracious me.
So this does two things. I guess if you're Al Corey and company, again, Al Corey right now, 24 laps, that's 31. That's not enough. Obviously, it was discussed earlier that they may call this race, but I don't think they can do that at this point, in utter fairness. Zach Nerney is basically stopped at the entry of the pits. Are they waiting for the pace car? I think they may be.
Good question.
That's the pace car right there, the back of the shot there. So he can't enter the pits until the pace car passes him. And you can see the pace car's headlights are on. So again, we are in night illumination mode here on iRacing. So he's coming in, but Al Corey, one of two things happened. A, Al's planning to stay out, or B, he screwed up and didn't wait for the pace car. Now he'll have to pit the second time by.
I have a feeling that he'll have to pit the second time by. Just taking a wild guess here based on what I'm seeing in timing and scoring on the background here. Mark Herzog has a black flag for pitting while the pits were closed. I can tell you that. A lot of other drivers are in the pits here, making their way through. Hopkins, Brown, Benson, Nerney, Shaw, Burrows, Deal, Corner, Risteau, Alfredson, Phillips, Crutchley. Sean Bradley has a meatball. Brad Kress has a meatball. We have lost
Now Al is
8 drivers in this race.
Al is he out of fuel, or is he just...
He is slow coasting in third gear.
And if you wondered why I was dramatizing sunset, folks, this ain't supposed to happen. This is like the quiet track picture that Jeff Gluck posts on Twitter after the race, but it's not supposed to be the shot during the race. As there comes Al into the pits. Now, Keaton Crothers, again, look at our timing chart here. And look at how much illumination's coming off that pace car right now. That just goes to show how dark it actually is. Again, this is the view that the drivers would see, which this is fine, but I'll tell you, when we get to 2 to go, Brad, it's going to be, at this time of night, it gets exponentially worse. But all these drivers, Keaton Crothers, Cam Kane, I think they're good. We're basically going to have 3 laps to go, hopefully no overtime. Of course, Zanobi, Emmert, Williams, they're good. But this might be the redemption show for Keaton Crothers.
Definitely could be. And by the way, the catch up for Al Corey there, why he was like just idle third gear coasting, he was still getting the call to let the pace car by. So I believe for Al Corey,
he's still registered. I'm making sure I'm not on replay. He's still registered as the leader, as a matter of fact, as well, according to timing right now. So we have.
So something weird has happened then. I can tell you that.
Keaton is doubled up in turn 1. So what?
But
Al needs to stop because he's literally about to lap the field.
So what is? I don't. What?
Yeah.
You what, mate?
I don't know if Al doesn't realize what is happening right now. I don't think. Because as you can tell,
I think
the
Al's
gap.
about to take the green flag.
Al, as you can tell, the gap from first to second is going up ridiculously. So Al is trying to catch up to the field when he's actually a lap ahead of everybody right now. So he is. We are just all sorts of screwed up in every way possible now. What is up is down, what's left is right, what is broke is wealthy, and what is shredded lettuce is now leaf. We are just completely we're shredded. We are shredded tonight.
I don't get it.
I don't know what to do
because
these guys are are coming to green, and Al's trying to lap them. Like, what is he going to do right now?
Either scoring is
what is scoring going to do?
Up.
He's literally lapping every. I'm just double checking.
What?
So now he's pitting.
So what is happening? Is this just a severely glitched out iRacing? Like what? So there's the pace car in.
So if he pits right now, I mean, he is going to get some ridiculous penalty. So these guys are racing. These guys are racing. Al is pitting, and now I'm assuming he's going to get, and I'll have you keep up to date with this, Brad, but I'm assuming he's going to get some penalty. But this should be the battle for the lead with 4 laps to go. And hopefully no more cautions because we don't have enough daylight for it.
I mean, I would be surprised if we get to the end without a caution here with the way it's going. So let's just watch because we're bumping side by side, P4 back. Up front, Al just came out of the pits and has still scored the leader.
And if he doesn't have a black flag, I will be...
He does not have a black flag.
So then... So what in good faith... So what in good faith does he do right now? Does he putt along and win this race? Or does he give it back? Yeah, I'm looking at my back end too. It tells me who gets penalties and stuff as well. And I don't... He's putting around right now. Let's go on. We'll give his onboard statistics. He's going 120. So I think he's trying to close... I don't know what he's going to do.
I mean, at this point, he should just park it. No?
I don't know, but... Keaton Crothers, there's been a tap to the wall from either Zanobi or Kane. So now this is Keaton Crothers, who pseudo is the leader, but Al is technically still the leader, 4 seconds up. And this is coming to 3 laps to go. Remember, we do have 2 overtimes in the bank if we need them, but folks, we got no idea what's going on, and that makes it very hard to tell you what's going on, but We're getting really close to the point where Al's going to be closing in on Cruther. Now, is he going to gun it now?
Yeah, what is going to happen here? Is Al is getting back up to speed.
So did he want this to, I mean, yeah, I don't even have words. No, he's going to let Crothers go?
No, I don't. Is he fighting?
No, he let him go. So Crothers is now the leader formally, and now we're coming to 2 laps to go, and Al's pitting. Maybe he did have a penalty, or did he penalize? No,
he never got a. No, he's letting the field through. All right, so we're 2 to go at this point, and I see some.
And yeah, we're wrecking. Yeah, Brett, you heard me last week. So we're going to go into overtime with no light, because that's just a great idea. This will put us officially past sunset. That's Haggy. Oh, no, that was Carter Phillips who had an issue, and Haggy was just the innocent bystander. Haggy actually got the worst end of the stick there. But so this is formally, again, sunset here today. Is at 4:58 sim time. And for the record, it's 5, so we are formally past sunset now, as is very visible. Again, going from our Pocono, our blimp cam here, we are about probably 10 minutes from this completely being pitch black, and we will go into overtime. Oh, Brad, we haven't played our caution game here today, as we struggle to catch the pace car still.
I don't know. I don't have a guess. Also, Al had to give himself a self-EOL because the pace car was glitched last caution, apparently.
Speaking of which...
just stop eating. Just hit the brakes.
There's the pace. You could tell by the light in the background that the pace car is coming. And the only stock cars that have ever had lights on them, the only stock car in existence that's ever had functional lights that is even remotely close to a NASCAR was the Garage 56 Le Mans car from, what was it, a year or 2 ago? Every other one?
That was 2023.
Yeah, so 2 years ago. That was the only stock car on a NASCAR body that I know of that has actually had functional headlights outside of, something that people have made for the old short tracks around the country. Someone may have dolled one up, but the only formal one, yeah. So this is a first. Again, night overtime at a track without lights. There's the campers. They have their lights on because they need to be able to see. It's an interesting spectacle, Brad. It wasn't on my bingo card. I mean, I don't want to spoil the real world, but that wasn't on my bingo card. The Xfinity Series wasn't on my bingo card. The Blue Jays losing wasn't on my bingo card. I guess that's a good time to play the lottery because everything's unexpected. And no, wait, hold the phone.
I'm sorry.
Here.
Whoa, huh?
Crothers.
I don't understand what's going on.
Crothers couldn't make it for overtime. So now that puts Gibson, our pole sitter.
What's his P6?
Howie M. effing Burrows.
Have you ever?
Have I seen a Pocono night race? No.
Have you ever seen a Brit in the top 10 in NASCAR?
Yeah, actually, Richard Towler back in 2010 was a UK native and was the first champion of the iRacing, what is now Coca-Cola Series.
All right, well, your knowledge is vast, much vaster than mine.
Vaster.
I don't know if vaster is a word.
Oh my God, I was watching Inside the NBA, which is the funniest sports show ever. And they said, "Oh, here's your secondary play, and here's your third-ary play," because they couldn't come up with the word tertiary.
I was about to say, isn't it tertiary?
Yeah, but they said third-ary. But Brett, we haven't done our caution game today.
It's felt like 40. It has felt like 40. I'm sure it's probably like 15.
All right, I'll go with 12. I'm gonna go with 11. That's just Pocono just makes it worse than it really is. Survey says, hey-oh!
Oh my God. Okay,
and you
there
know,
we go.
Brad, as the fans may or may not know, I have no information on my back-end screens that tells me that until I pull that graphic up. So that was just a dumb guess.
That's a good guess, though.
It is dark, bro.
It is quite dark. I'm quite concerned, I'm not going to lie.
So again, we have another 2 minutes. It's basically, you know how in post-race I always kind of do the slow shot of the cars while we're talking to them? I might have to go back in time to where it's light because you won't be able to see them.
Yeah, literally. I was just thinking about that. Like, how are we going to handle that?
Funnily enough, back in the day, since we have 2 minutes of a damn pace lap, when day-night came out back in 2018, Martinsville didn't have lights because Martinsville, up until recently, was the oldest track iRacing had built. So what we had done is we had 5 or 6 drivers driving Cadillac CTSVs, and they parked along the track, and they used their headlights to illuminate the track. So we had headlights.
Oh, that's beautiful.
We had manually placed headlights as lamps. And then we held a truck race at Martinsville using those headlights of illumination. And it just takes me... That video is actually on this channel way back dug in 2018, but I'm getting flashbacks to the last time I covered an oval night race at night. And again, any fans who are watching here who have never watched PTR TV, we are a channel who has been iRacing partnered. We take things very seriously. We take things as seriously as the league wants us to take it. We could be taking this 100% race spot worthy and super professional and kind of uptight. But that's not what the league wants. The league wants us to have fun. The league wants us to call it as it is. If we're frustrated, be frustrated. If we're telling jokes, we're telling jokes. That's what they want out of us. That's what we're doing. And when we go off the rocker, it's because that's where our emotions lead us. But hopefully our emotions lead us into an interesting green-white checker here at the Pocono Under the Lights British 500. Stephen Gibson, William Emmert, front row. After that set of pit stops, let's go and hopefully finish this thing out.
If the drivers couldn't even see to finish it out, we see some swerving, some check up mid to backpack, but up front, everyone looking pretty good here as they come through down the inside. McLennan has the inside line trying to run away through, and let's see how this one can end through 1 and 2.
No,
Gibson up. Oh.
Double overtime. And this, I believe... I'm not even going to go to a replay. Actually, I'll go to a replay because it's just something to stall with. Oh, we're still wrecking. That's Zenobi. Oh, what in the hell?
What?
Brad, you are trying so hard not to F-bomb, and I appreciate it, and I'm almost wanting to give you permission at this point just to say it. But,
No.
I know. We do have
thing.
standards. They are lowering, but they still exist. Oh.
Arca brakes? Is this just Arca brakes?
So let's focus
I see
on...
Jeremy Brown involved in this one.
And again, this is part of our concern as well, is the later it gets, the harder it is to actually make out what's happening. So there's Risto. Oh, there is something that happened to Caleb. Yeah, everyone just came into each other on exit, which, again, at this point...
Pause.
Oh, well. At this point, it very well... I mean... Earlier in the race, lap 20, lap 30, there was no excuses. At this point in the race, you literally can use the excuse. I couldn't see it.
It was nighttime. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It was nighttime. What do we do?
And let's just bring up our stints again. So they are now updating. There you go. So William Emmert, Steve McClendon, he's on fumes right now. Emmert, again, with the cautions, might be okay, but McClendon is really pushing that thing into overdrive.
Yeah, he has to pit here. There he goes.
And Emmert, too.
Unfortunate for those guys because I think they could have had a great run there. There's Crothers as well in.
And Yeah. And a good sentence, right?
Yeah, amazing sentence. Just beautiful.
Brad, talk for a minute.
And
I'm working on
hopefully-
something.
And hopefully all of these drivers, I'm sitting here thinking about this. Hopefully all of the drivers that did pit for that first green-white checkered did plan on a second green-white checkered. So, because if they didn't, they're in a lot of trouble. And also I want to point out that the Brit has taken the podium. The Brit and the road racer are on the podium right now behind Steven Gibson, the newcomer who started on pole 2 hours ago, if everyone can recall. So I'm interested to really see how this goes here, as Golden Girls is going to be running on a time crunch here. So
Except on the West Coast,
this will
which
be
you see your
interesting.
local news.
Yeah, so if you like the local news, well, keep up with the local news. Otherwise, we got a great issue of Golden Girls coming up after this second green-white checkered.
And to my knowledge, which I know session anomalies are a thing, I think there are only 2 green-white checkers available in the league, and there's no way in iRacing to, outside of the session timer closing, the session can either be, 2 hours or X amount of laps. The only way a session can close early is if it runs out of time. I don't know how much actual session time is left. Actually, I do have a way to check. Wait, that's an estimation. That's not actually right. So I don't know how much session time is left, but admin can't call a race early without doing a lot of manual labor. This is...
I think the session timer is usually set at 3 hours.
Yeah, so
I think we are good on that time. Things would have to go worse than anything that I can dream of.
This
We
is-
might see Zach Nerney get a win here. Look at this.
I mean, so we're a racing channel, but the Los Angeles Dodgers win championship, the World Series. There's a famous Dodgers saying, "I can't believe what I just saw," in regards to some famous home run with a guy who was injured. And that's what I feel right now. I can't believe what I just saw, or I guess I can't believe what I just didn't see. And again, if you like what you see here today, like, share, comment, subscribe, the broadcast, all that fun stuff. We'll be back next week at North Wilkesboro. Luckily, North Wilkesboro and the next 3 racetracks all do have lights, Atlanta and Charlotte, assuming that we are running the modern variant of North Wilkesboro. It does have lights. So this will not be a problem going forth. But it is a problem for right now. And again, we have basically a guaranteed first-time winner up front. We can't have Dylan on the podium because I can't talk to him about that lettuce situation. So we need to have one of the top 5 finish this race out, Brad.
Well, currently, Howie is running P3 in Howie's sponsored race, so that's amazing to see. So just buckle it up, because we're on track for a new winner here for whoever gets it. We're on track for a new winner to lock themselves into the playoffs. Remember, this is the last race of the regular season, so we have so much riding on this here. And we're going to come through. It will be green flag on the call of Steven Gibson. Nerney is sleeping on the restart there. Henson gets through, and this is going to be interesting as we're green, 2 to go.
2 laps to go here at Pocono. And I think the next flag will end the race per what we know about the overtime policies here. Heading off into turn number 1. Nerney driving it in deep underneath Hopkins here. Again, it's going to be hard to see the cars with as dark as it is. I think I saw someone scraping the fence saying, "We're wrecking in the back.
big
Please
wreck
tell
in the
me that that's
background."
the end of the race and that we're not doing more overtimes." That's Herzog. I believe,
I was gonna say-
I'm almost positive that is going to be the end of the race. I just have to await the sim to confirm that for us. But we'll check out something on the replay if we can even see it.
The Folgers car, the 25, would be the one to watch, I believe, starting. So, but Herzog did have his own moment as well, which was unrelated. It looks like Howie slowed up, and Herzog, I think, was just taking a nap. It is
Yep.
nighttime.
And confirmation we are on the white flag, so this will end it. Zenobie into Carter, and then Risto is involved there. There's Emmert. Remember, Emmert was in a good spot if this race ended on time, but it didn't. And we will finish the Pocono under the light of the pace car extravaganza with Steven Gibson, who you could say that he did absolutely nothing today, Brad. He was the pole sitter, and he's going to win the race, assuming he could get back to the start-finish line, leading a total of 18 laps. So you could say he did absolutely nothing here today, but that's so not the case. Yes.
Yeah, usually what I tell drivers, in that situation is always, if you've watched the channel long enough, you've kind of picked up on some of the habits. And my question is usually, all right, you started first, you finished first, but that doesn't tell the story. And I think for him, that is genuinely 1,000,000% the truth in this situation, is that starting first, finishing first does not mean you ran first. Because how many laps did he lead?
I think it was 18 coming to 19 as... Yeah, this is the longest broadcast, I think, in triple bypass history as well, looking at our live stream count right now. So, good times there. But let's come off of corner number 3 and or corner number 6, depending on... we didn't get into that debate for multiple reasons. But if you can see him, you can congratulate him, Steven Gibson, in his, I believe, triple bypass debut, question mark, will win the Pocono British Under the Lights Spectacular that wasn't spectacular.
Big congratulations goes to Steven Gibson for enduring the endurance
Henson
race.
second,
and getting
Hopkins
his way
third.
through.
Howie did not preserve the podium, unfortunately.
It's kind of unfortunate that caution came out when it did, because both Howie and Nerney, who were running P2, P3 there, didn't get P2, P3, but that will round out what has been a wild Pocono.
Yep, and let's just quickly start our post-race show with whatever light that we have left to offer here. Steven Gibson getting the win by 2/10 over Michael Hopkins, Dylan Freeman in 4th, Sean Bradley recovering all the way up to a 5th after the issues. Howie Burrows, a race sponsor, getting a good run in 6th, surviving the mess. Matt Alfredson, Dan Williams, Cam Kane, and Al Corey with that oddity of a pit stop cycle gets a top 10.
Moving on from there, P11, Zenobie, P12, Steve McClendon, Keaton Crothers falls down to 13th. Keith Hanlon, Nicholas Steele round out your top 15. From there, it was Carter Phillips in P16. Adam Shaw, Caleb Bass, Joshua Corner, and Jeremy Brown rounding out the top 20 here.
21st through 30th, we got William Emmert in 21st. He was in a good spot to win, but that wasn't to be had. Mark Herzog, a couple hard licks here today. Risto in that last wreck. Nerney thought he had a chance at it, but that was not to be. Benson, Fisher, Hagee, Crutchley. I don't think we've mentioned him at all here today. Epting and Harcum, and then just to round out the end of the lineup, Brad Kress started the day good, didn't continue that. And then Harmon, Ruelas, Kunman, and Squire, or Squeer in the words of Patrick Coleman, will end our lineup. But Brad, if you, I don't know if you have the flashlight on. Hopefully you got your cell phone light, your flashlight, your headlamp, everything that you need to head to victory lane and meet up with our race winner.
Yeah, let's go find our race winner if he's around, and I don't actually know I do have him around here, so let's grab him. Steven, first of all, congratulations, sir, on a win. You started first, you finished first. That doesn't tell the whole story, though. Tell me, how'd your race go?
Yeah, it was a pretty good race there. I had, I didn't mean to put, I think it was William in the fence there, Alpha 3. And kind of the run there, we kind of, mucked it up, as Shane would say. I didn't really want to put him in that position. I tried to get off the wall. But, yeah, it seemed like it was good racing in the front. Everybody seemed to race clean and respectful. And, yeah, there seemed to be a lot of cautions in the back. And I was just trying to really kind of save until, I knew I was going to be good on gas at some time after lap 20. And, yeah, it just seemed to kind of have it work out in our favor there with that caution at the end. I don't think we would have been able to really catch up to him on a green right front, but yeah, it was good racing.
Yeah, Steven, it was good to watch you go through, but I have to ask the question, is this your first time in triple bypass, or should we know you from previous seasons?
No, this is my first cup race in Triple Bypass. I just joined the league probably about like 2 weeks ago and raced all the other ones to be able to run the cup, because usually that's what I run. And yeah, a lot of the guys in the other series seem to run pretty clean and, carried over to tonight.
Awesome, man. Well, it was fun to watch you run through. Gotta ask, you're gonna be racing next week, and what are we expecting?
Where is next week?
Next week, if I'm not mistaken, is North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, I should be there. Hopefully, nothing crazy happens, but yeah, I should be there.
Awesome, man. Well, Steve, congratulations on the win. Welcome into the Cup Series, and we'll see you next week, hopefully.
Yep, thank you, man.
I'm looking through here, Brad. I don't see Hinson. So, unless you see him, but I don't. In which case, we're going to bounce on down to Mr. Michael Hopkins. So, Mr. Michael Hopkins gets a third place here on the evening in the British Pocono Under the Lights Spectacular. Summarize your night, 7th to 3rd, 12 cautions under the lights, all these different strategies going on. Just summarize how that went for the 10 tonight.
Have you ever, right? Tough night. Sorry for the product we put on the channel here. Quite honestly, the end result is a result of getting wrecked, fuel strategy, and literally just having the right amount of fuel as the track went dark.
Yeah, clearly you've watched the broadcast to know our fun levels in the last 2 weeks, but I know from the driver's perspective that's interesting too. And I mean, just kind of talk through the mindset that happened mid-race. I mean, we were talking on air, we did the math, we knew that it was going to be a night race. I know there was talks about shortening and so it didn't run night. What was your logic on it's getting darker, what's going to happen? Was that even a thought in the mind for you?
Yeah, it's definitely something the drivers are talking about, but if I'm being truthful, I thought we'd make 75. Honestly, we did make 75. So I was really aiming for 75 there.
Obviously we made it, and then just for the fun of it, we had to run a little bit long there, and I'm not off the top of my head totally sure. I think you're in the playoff hunt, if I'm not mistaken there. That being said, heading into the playoffs, Wilkesboro, Atlanta, Charlotte, where's your confidence level?
Been pretty good on the 1.5 miles this year. Drafting tracks, anything's going to happen there. So I think, honestly, got a good shot. We're towards the top. Just need maybe a couple of things to go our way. And, we're going to be right there in it at the end.
All right, man. Well, congrats on the podium. We'll see you in the playoffs as of next week. Hopefully you get your flashlights to get back to the hauler.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
See you. All right, Brad. Well, as he alluded to and as we've alluded to, we'll go to live pictures. This is live pictures of Pocono, and as you can see, the only lights there are the couple Jumbotrons and the Sunoco sign. What's your final take on what we had tonight?
What is it that Jeff says? Quiet track Pocono. Yeah, quiet track Pocono. Like, subscribe. But this was a wild one. The playoffs are going to be fun.
Absolutely. We are on a 2-week situation of races that haven't been the best, but I know we'll get that cleaned up for next week. North Wilkesboro, new track, looking pretty on the iRacing platform. Stay tuned for our next broadcast. We'll be live for the ARCA series on Tuesday. Brad will be with elbows out. We have E-Car, and we're prepping for the biggest broadcast of the year, the All-American 400 in 2 weeks' time. So want to have as many friends along for the ride here. Help us get to 1,900 subscribers. But that's going to be Corey and Brad signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.
Good night.